So a few weeks back, I made a video talking about what we needed for the upcoming Dexter spinoff. While I already had the idea for this video way back when, I figured with the positive reception of that video that it enforces the idea that there are definitely people out there who enjoy theorizing about these future projects. So in the same way I made that video about Dexter, today we'll be talking about what we need from the upcoming Peaky Blinders movie. Peaky Blinders was a British television series that ran from September 12th, 2013 all the way to April 3rd of 2022. In this time, we were blessed with 6 incredible seasons, led by the fantastic Cillian Murphy, most known for his work on 28 Days Later, playing Scarecrow in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, and most recently for playing the leading man in Oppenheimer, which awarded him an Oscar. But to me, his best performance was as the Birmingham crime boss, Tommy Shelby, a World War I veteran and gang leader who starts the series by fixing races, and ends the series by being a distinguished wealthy politician. This is, of course, until the very end, when he blows up his house, rides off into the middle of a pasture where he intends on doing some un-YouTube-friendly things to himself, rather than die of his supposed illness. And when this turns out to be a lie perpetrated to him by a doctor paid off by a political bad guy, he ends off the series on a John Wick-style cliffhanger, and this is where we last left off with our leading character until we got to the movie. Not too much is known about the movie. We have a few members of the cast confirmed, and it's clear that this will be taking place during the Second World War, which initially Stephen Knight had said he wanted to end the story right before World War II. However, according to an article, Stephen Knight expressed his change of heart and said that this film tells a very specific story that's based off of a true story from World War II. This could mean relatively anything, so it doesn't give us too much to go off of. And with the ending of Peaky Blinders, there are also a few directions this film can go. I believe we need a resolution to a few problems that were left open at the end of the series, most notably Oswald Mosley. And I mentioned this first due to how the series ended. Tommy is going to be gunning for him. Where this gets tricky is Oswald Mosley was a real person and only ended up dying in 1980. I saw an article made by Screen Rant make a point that the film could open with Mosley's arrest, or we could have that somewhere down the line. And the way we could get a semi-realistic and still satisfying ending could be with Tommy fighting him politically. Duke is likely the heir to the family throne and would absolutely help his father out with manpower to create unrest and violence in Mosley's rallies and marches, or however else Tommy decides to basically tear Mosley down. Mosley was arrested in 1940, and according to one quick Google search, apparently there was no true reason given for his arrest. So Stephen Knight could play around with this and have some creative liberty, but I believe no conclusion to this at all would be dissatisfying to say the least. And something that falls into that same category would be a continuation on Finn's story. He ended the series being cast out from the family and attempting to kill Tommy's son, and threatening to come back for him in the future. This is an integral character who left off on a major cliffhanger, and it could set up some really interesting B-plot stuff during the movie. The rivalry between Duke and Finn coming to a head, while the rivalry between Tommy and Oswald takes center stage. I've seen quite a few people talk about Uncle Jack, and while I believe he should definitely make an appearance, I get the vibe that this is going to be a much more contained story, so I don't think he'll play too much of a role. But only time will tell. This next point is far more obvious, but I feel like it deserves to be mentioned. Do not make this into a typical war movie. There's nothing wrong with them, but with how Cillian Murphy has been talking about this movie being for the fans, this needs to remain as something that at its core is still a gritty crime drama. And while yes, in the latter half of the show, it changed into more of a political crime drama, that's what it needs to stay as. I don't need to expand more on this, I feel like. I genuinely think that this obviously won't happen, and that this will 100% remain a crime drama, but just so I could put it out into the universe, I wanted to make it clear. And last but not least, Stephen Knight has talked about how he hopes for spin-offs from this movie, telling stories regarding the Shelby family moving forward. And while this doesn't sound bad at all, I hope for real this time we get a nice conclusion to the story of Thomas Shelby. Cillian Murphy has stated many times how much this character calls to him, and he has done an absolutely wonderful job portraying this character these past 11 years. I sincerely hope that they know when to stop. The show is amazing and one of the greatest shows ever created with the tone and writing and acting, and it was just really good from start to finish. Even though Season 6 had its bumps and things that unfortunately happened, which changed the script and halted and restricted certain things they could do. Firstly, let me just do a little side note in regards to that. Rest in peace to the wonderful Helen McRory, a phenomenal actress who played Polly to perfection. But I say all of that to say this. Thomas Shelby deserves a good ending. He didn't get it at the end of the series, and I pray that they don't follow the model some other shows have followed where they drag out the ending of a specific character until it feels disrespectful. Tommy lost a lot, basically gave up the reins of his family and custody of his child. I just hope we get a solid ending to such a great and well-written character. Thank you for watching. These last few videos have been pretty short in comparison to what I actually want to do with this channel. The next 2 or 3 videos are going to be much longer, and I believe that they'll be the best videos I ever create. Every time I create a new video, I want it to be the best I can ever make. And I really hope you guys enjoy them.